Director Psychological Psychology subject. This is probably the laziest video I ever made. Featuring me, and that's right, psychology. Psychology lesson. Psychology comes from the word psyche, which means soul, and ology, meaning the study of... BAM! You got study of soul, so smart. Scientists use the empirical method, a method of which knowledge is acquired based on observation.
For example, we don't know what oranges taste like. One person hypothesizes that it's sour. The other hypothesizes that it's sweet. Both conduct an experiment by tasting the orange. Bam, bam. Conclusion, the orange is sour and not sweet.
Alright, we'll be talking about two people. First, let's talk about Mr. Wilhelm Wundt, a very important person. He used an observation method called introspection. Now, introspection is also known as internal perception, where the subject examines himself through his own conscious experience. Wundt made special requirements to be qualified in his method, however. The first stringent requirement was the use of trained, or practiced observers, who could immediately observe and report a reaction. The second requirement was the use of repeatable stimuli that always produced the same experience in the subject, and allowed the subject to expect and thus be fully attentive to the inner reaction. Either that the subjects represented lights, pictures, buttons to push that provide stimuli or reaction. This method was known as Structuralism. Their goal is to make the interpretations of a human mind as objective as possible. Unfortunately, this method fell as the method had little agreement between the researchers and the results were almost subjective. Always. Peach. Alright, let's move on to the last person. Mr. William James. Mr. William James was introduced to Darwin's natural selection. Whoa! What's natural selection? Well, see, it's a way of life where organisms adapt to their environment. For example, if a bird species is in an island full of hard-to-reach berries as their food source, they'll evolve a longer beak to adapt to their environment. Now, Mr. James then had a different perspective, and it was known as functionalism. It focuses on how the mind works in certain scenarios rather than the result of stimuli. One example is a fight or flight response.
Fight or flight response is a physiological reaction that occurs in response to a perceived harmful event, attack, or threat to survival.
It was first described by Mr. Walter Bradford Cannon. And, as the name says, you either go ham or run like chicken. So, yeah. Alright, that's all!